Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Ketan. I call myself that day-to-day guy, and I'm just here to share some of my life experiences and share things I'm passionate about. And as you've probably seen in my channel, cars, watches are amongst those things, but very small part. And I want to say this because my watch video got 8,000 or 9,000 views, which I know YouTube standards is like nothing, but to me, that was a big deal. And some friends said, oh, maybe you should focus on watches. And I said, yeah, I don't want to do that. This channel wasn't started for watches. It was just started for a random middle-aged man to share some of his life online and share some of my experiences. So I'm going to carry on doing that, not to get views necessarily, but just to share my life and share, like I said, my experiences. But today I'm sharing this R129 SL320 on a February 1999. It was registered. As you can see, it's in pretty decent nick. This is an 18,000 mile car that I acquired just over 2 weeks ago. My friend Shan found it for me, and for which I'm super grateful. Thank you, Shan. And all I've done to this car so far, I say all I've done to this car, I've had it 2 weeks. I've put some S-Class W220 AMG wheels on here with their staggered wheels, and they've got 25mm spacers, bolt-on spacers. But they're coming off actually, because I found a set. And this is very hard to find a set of these in Europe and in the UK, a set of 18-inch monoblock wheels for an R129, which were super popular in America on the sport models. And they just look perfect. These look great as well, but those ones are perfect, and they're also an R129 part code, and they don't need spacers. So these are going to be for sale in the next week or so. So the next time you see this car, which will be in spring, when I do another, this is going to get lowered this week as well, but when I finally get it out, all polished up, all clean, everything done and ready, that'll be spring next year. So you'll see the new wheels in there. But I put new wheels on there. When I bought the car, I had some hesitation to buy the car because it didn't have heated seats, and it didn't have rear seats, and didn't have memory seats. Now, the rear seats, nobody ever sits in them, because if you look in there, they're impossible to really sit in for an adult. So children can sit in there. So if I'm taking my brother's kids out, I could put kids in there, which is going to be like, what, once, twice a year, if that. And I just prefer the aesthetic of it, because the car originally came with a bench, which has storage in there. Some cars have a Bose sound system in there, and some, it's just a storage bench on either side. I don't personally need the storage. So there's a boot here, or trunk for the American folks. So I found online, by sheer coincidence, a guy selling a Java's the name of the color of leather in here, a Java R129 rear seat bench. So I bought that, and I installed that the first weekend that I got it. There's a few little fixings that need to go in, and then it'll be done to factory spec. And then inside the car, I've also put in a Blaupunkt Frankfurt head unit, which technically, I think the Blaupunkt Frankfurt is a more early to mid-90s head unit, but the color of the chestnut in this, the color of the wood matches nicely with the orange illumination, and the orange line at the bottom just kind of takes your eye off the fact that the head unit is probably slightly older than it should be. But again, only the absolute anoraks and geeks are gonna pick up on that. Another thing I'm going to do with the car, I'm going to put in a wooden steering wheel. They're super expensive and super hard to get hold of, especially in this color. So it's going to be a bit of a long game, or a bit of a waiting game, and a gear knob as well. Mats, I've already ordered a set of mats from Germany. There's a company in Germany on eBay that make mats to the factory spec. I've also got some metal Mercedes badges, which I'm going to put into the mat like the factory ones are, because I just want to try and get as much things done to the car which are still, you know, OEM and factory. Although on some of the Facebook groups online, everyone's got an opinion, right? It's my car. Cars are like an extension of, cars are like fashion. Everybody dresses differently, and we generally don't judge. And same thing with cars. It's my car. I'm going to do what I want to the car. It's not like I'm doing anything to the car that is irreversible, or some might argue stuff is tasteless, but these cars originally did have the option of coming with 18-inch AMG wheels. I see nothing wrong there. Some of the cars had upgraded suspension, so the car sat a smidgen lower. This is being lowered on Friday, just a smidgen, not like, you know, air ride low, just enough to still maintain a factory look. If you notice there, it's got a sat-nav aerial. The car's original head unit is a navigation unit, and it looks completely immaculate. So that's going to stay with me, and when I sell the car, that's going to go back in there. I've also put in here a cup holder. I know that sounds so trivial, but the car doesn't have any cup holders, and you know, having a coffee, having a drink, it's nice to have in there, because in there before was a cassette holder, which, I mean, come on, I'm not going to be using that. And then also it's got the cassette holder from Auto Classic has also got a phone holder in there, which is somewhere to put your phone, because again, there's nowhere to put your phone. This car doesn't have a glove box. It's got compartments on each side here, which you can put things in. It's got a center storage box there. Obviously the boot has got plenty of room for a set of golf clubs, which is what I would use it for at the moment. It's just got some random stuff in there. Carpets in the boot is going to require a clean. So again, this is a project for all this stuff is a kind of next spring kind of thing. But I just wanted to share the car with you before I started to do any of the major stuff. The wheels are pretty much one of the major things that make the car look very different to how it looked last week. I have got video, very brief video of what it looked like last week, so I shall play that as I'm just talking now. Anyway, what else? So these cars, the R129 came out in 1989 and finished production in 2001, so a 12-year span. In those 12 years, there were four different guises. Some people say 3, but I say 4. So from 89 to about 92, 93, they had the orange indicators at the front, and then between 93 to 96, it had this white but with a part orange. And that's a key distinction there, because that was a change there. And then it started to they still had the bottom Sacco panels, they call them. They still had the 3 slots in there, and then they were fully color coded, I believe. I could be wrong, as in color coded to body color. Before, some of them were two-tone. And then 96, the panels went to, as you see here, but with the more rectangular mirrors and black door handles. The color-coded handles were from the 99 onwards, where the V6 models came out on the 320. So this is an SL320. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's an SL320, so it's a V6 model. I've had an SL320 on an R plate, which is a straight 6 model. I've had an SL280 on an L plate, which is a straight 6 model. I've had an SL320 on a S plate, a blue one with the panoramic roof, 40,000 miles, beautiful car. Same color Java interior as this. And then I've had another S-Reg with 50,000 miles, and that was in silver. And just, you know, again, you know, silver or black interior, wood trim, it's just beautiful, beautiful car. This is my 5th R129. And I just love it because you can just get in it and go, you know. The 356 Speedster I had was very much more of a considered drive. You wouldn't go out if there's risk of rain and so on, because the roof was just a get you home roof. Then the R107 I had that sold a few weeks ago was great because it's an 80s car. You just get in it and go. It was just a nice, reliable car. And this is a much more of a get in and go kind of car, but still being classic. But it's modern enough to, some people daily them. I'm not going to daily this, obviously, but it's just a very practical classic car. Next, I'm probably going to go older because I don't want to go post 2000 Mercedes. I like my old cars, not just Mercedes, but just, you know, old cars in general. But I love this car because it's from every angle. It just oozes class. It's just so typically Mercedes of the era. You look from back here, it's got a lovely stance, and it'll have an even better stance when it gets lowered this week. And from the front, you've got that classic Mercedes grille with the big badge there. The number plate's off the car at the moment because I'm not really driving it. As you can see, it's in the window. My private plate's going to be going on there in the next week or so. 77 Ket. Some paint you can see there is scratched on the corners and scuffed. That's all going to be done in March next year, just ready for the spring season, if you will. Let's take a look inside the car, shall we? So inside here, you've got a Blaupunkt Frankfurt radio, which I put in a few weeks ago, well, a few weeks ago, last week, and cup holder here with a phone holder. You've got wood trim in this car, the chestnut color wood. As you can see, these two buttons are missing, the heated seats. I would have loved to have had that, but you know, I don't really use the car in the colder months, so it was something that I was willing to forego. It doesn't have memory seats either, but again, I'm the only person that drives this car. Would put a wooden steering wheel in here, which will match this wood. It's very difficult to get hold of these wheels, especially in this color. This color is a bit rarer than most cars are generally a black interior, and there's quite a few of those available online for sale, and the gear knob as well, but we'll see. You've got storage in here for sunglasses. Previous owner's lighter is in here. I can't believe he did 18,000 miles in this car. He bought the car new in 1999, and 18,000 miles is just, it's insane. But everything works and the car runs as it should do, because these cars do like to be driven, and that was one of the things I was quite hesitant about as well. You don't just buy a car because it's low miles, because there could be, you know, all sorts wrong with it. Also, I've seen online as well, this is not the only car with it, but the rev counter is ever so slightly bent. So that's got to come apart, because my OCD is not going to like that. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to repair that. And that's what I like about these cars. These cars are old enough where you can still tinker with them. My Audi over there, just never gonna tinker with it, because everything's electric, everything's complex. You break something, you're going to be buggered and be in for a lot of money. Whereas here, I'm not afraid to get stuck in and do things. And it's such a nice place to be because of the color. When the black mats go, the cream mats are going to come in. It will just make it look even lighter and airier. But yeah, looking forward to getting all these off and cleaning underneath the seats and just doing what I do when I get a new car. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen until March next year. So yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching, and you know, all that subscribe and like malarkey if you like. But before I go, just want to talk about the roof. It was already down when we started the video, but let's talk about how the roof goes up. The roof, this is the first car to have a roof that's one touch. It comes up on its own, no unlatching here. Just a nice, smooth, quick-ish. I had an R231 before, which was quicker than this, obviously, but it's awesome. The roof is completely original. The plastic in the roof is original. It still retained its shape nicely, which is nice. And the windows go up, and you've always got to let the cycle, finish, because there's all sorts of electrics in here that, you know, if you don't let it finish, it kind of messes around and you get into all sorts of bother. Fixable, but hassle you don't want. And the reverse of that, obviously, you pull it back, and this little button is the shape of the hardtop. Pull it back, unlatches, goes back, and then you've got to let the windows rise up again, even if you're going to put them down. So yeah, hope anyone watching who's considering buying an R129 gets some value from this video. If anyone has any questions, feel free to comment. I'll be happy to answer. Like I said, I've had a few of these before. I would have loved a 500, but when I was looking at these cars, it was a case of whatever the best car that comes up first. If it was a 500 came up first, I would have bought that. Not a massive, you know, not a boy racer anymore. I'm not going to dart about in this. This is very much a cruiser. Hence, I'm happy to have a 320. 280 is a second slower, and 9 seconds is kind of like 8, I think, is the slowest I'd want to be. But hey, such is life, isn't it? You grow up and you kind of value your driving license and don't want to drive around like a maniac. So yeah, and 320 is, you know, it's smooth enough. It makes a nice noise. It's just, obviously, it's not, you don't have the kudos of it being a 500. And as much as I would love the 500, here we are. And I'm rambling now, so I will say goodbye, and I'll say thank you for watching. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled. And if you're looking to buy one of these cars, absolutely 100% get one. Get the best available example you can for your budget. the spread is massive. You can get these for like 3,000-4,000 all the way up to 50,000-60,000. So there's a big difference on from the cheapest to the most expensive. So yeah, thank you for watching, folks, and see you next week. Ciao.